All right, it's me again, Vinny. We're gonna talk about review a new, old piece of equipment called the power twister. Usually used for martial artists. I preferred to use it when I was doing judo because it's this whole motion of doing this and throwing somebody, and it requires your pec major, your pec minor, anterior deltoid, bicep brachii, most of the forearms, and serratus, and maybe your lats also, just to bring this whole motion down. And definitely your rotator cuff, because anytime you move your arms around, you're working your rotator cuff and the muscles in there. So this is a 30 kilogram power twister. I have a 50 kilogram, a 60 kilogram, 80 kilogram, and 100 kilogram. My goal for this summer was to at least get to the 80 kilogram, but I think I can barely do the 60 kilogram, so I can probably dial that back to probably winter. So you can use this in multiple ways. You can also do a bicep curl with it, which is pretty interesting. So the creative thing about it is that it's small, it's a good piece of home equipment, and it couples very well when you do push-ups. Or if you have dips, I have parallettes here, so I can do dips and push-ups on it and handstand push-ups. But again, it's gonna work all that, and it complements you working your chest and you working those fine-tuned small muscle groups around your shoulder area, because it requires a little more help from the supporting muscle group than it does from the bigger muscle groups that you would have around here in your back. So again, you can hold it like this. Let me actually do this so I don't slap myself. You're gonna put your hands in the strap. Remember, it's a metal coil with hard rubberized handles that probably also have plastic involved in it. And you can put your hands over it. So you can do double, in the fitness world we call this double over, when your palms are face down. You can bend it just like this, or you can put your palms faced up, and you can get kind of more of the bicep region in it just by doing this. It really hits the chest, and I'll show you one more time the double over on my knees. I'm gonna really get this whole pec action going here. So it's not important to do it fast. It's important to generate a little bit of momentum, but then have all the control to actually bend it and bring it back to its starting position. That will count as one rep. So you go here and slowly come back, just like that. Then again, this is a 30 kilogram one. So if you want to figure out what that is in pounds, you just multiply 2.2 by 30, and you should get 66. Now, moving over to the other ones. Oh, right, I forgot. The other motion you can do with this is you hold it in here, palms up, bring it in, and now you have a bicep curl that you're kind of doing. It's a funky bicep curl because you don't really, normally you would do this. It's still happening, except you're bringing it into yourself. So it's like a hybrid movement between a bicep curl and a row. So the row action happens at the beginning, and then the bicep curl finishes. It's more of a hammer curl, but you're gonna get that forearm, bicep brachii on the side, and the bicep curl here. The other thing is if you want to do unilateral, because what I just showed you before, this is unilateral, this is bilateral, meaning you're doing both sides at the same time, both arms, bilateral. But unilateral, one side. But now, if you want to really challenge yourself, just bend one side and stabilize and come back. Now you can see if one pec is doing more work than the other, which is a really good testament to see how you do these things. So I'm going to move on to the heavier ones. So the 50 kilogram one takes a lot of energy out of me. I guess I need to do more push-ups. But the 50 kilogram one again, for safety purposes, put the straps around the wrist. 50 kilogram one, very heavy. I lent my brother the 40 kilogram one. I probably should have started working my way up. But 50 kilogram, just like that. And slowly come back. You can always rep out and do it as fast as possible, but you risk knocking your eye out or your glasses off. Now the 60 kilogram one is at 2.2 times this. I believe that's 124 probably. But now here, that was a 60 kilogram one. I am not doing that again. Again, these pieces of equipment, they're pretty pricey for the fact that they're somewhat of a one-trick pony. Meaning there's not much stuff you can do with it other than chest and the two other exercises, the other exercise I showed you, which was the bicep curl. I personally think that this is good if you want to couple it with a good chest exercises, push-ups, pec fly, anything else. But for more of a functional purpose, more sports oriented, I got this for judo because I want to fold people up when I throw them. So I think it's pretty funny, but that was one of my goals, and it worked a lot in tournaments. They are pretty pricey. I bought this whole set for about 120. I'm missing two. There's a 20 pounder and a 40 pounder that's missing here. But it was like 120 bucks, something around there. They don't come with warranty. Amazon shipped them pretty fast to me. I would not recommend this for people who aren't serious about building up their chest or doing anything else other than getting toning. You can easily get toning from just doing push-ups, and by the time you get used to the 30 pounder, you're gonna want to go up, and then you're gonna have to buy the whole set. It's not really worth your money. I have them because I felt it was more helpful for my training in martial arts, i.e. judo. But yeah, this is not worth your money. I would get something else, like maybe a regular resistance band and constantly do pec flies with it, or do punches with it, or practice pulling. But it has a unique purpose, which is this kind of bending motion, which happens a lot when you fight. Again, one trick pony, not a little too expensive, and it's also awkward to carry because most of the times when I'm walking with my fiance, she thinks this is an umbrella when I have it in my bag. Again, I don't think, if you're not serious about working out and getting a little stronger around your pec area, or you're not a fighter, you shouldn't get this because it won't do you any good, because you can just do different types of push-ups which are free and are online, and you can look them up anywhere you want. And you can gradually scale up the difficulty of your push-up, which would scale up the definition and muscle mass size in your chest. Not that hard. Again, I am playing my classmate's album, Vibin by Scrap Williams. That's the constant thing because I think it's a good song to like do reviews to.